A police operation was launched in the Alice in November, resulting in 300 arrests. But the town's mayor, Matt Paterson, says it's not enough and perhaps the Army or the Federal Police need to be called in to help out. He joins me now from Alice Springs. Matt, thanks for joining us. We keep seeing these horrible crimes in the streets and businesses of Alice Springs. Why can't the local police cope?
Thanks for having me, Chris. The answer is there's just not enough of them. We just don't have enough police in Alice Springs to deal with the level of crime that happens day in, day out, 24/7 hours a day, 24 hours a day. It's just unbelievable.
Is it dangerous for citizens just going about their daily lives?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you're going for your weekly shop at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you get locked in because there's a 13-year-old wielding a machete, I mean, what sort of alarm bells does that ring? People were waking up with intruders in their house, holding weapons while they ransack their houses. Businesses in broad daylight are just having things stolen, windows smashed, cars smashed. I mean, we can't continue to live like this, and it can't continue to go on.
It's just shocking. And if most of the offenders are affected by drugs and alcohol, and if many of them are minors, what happens when they are arrested? Do they end up back out on the streets on bail anyway?
Yeah, we're seeing a bit of that. And I mean, since the Stronger Future stuff has lapsed, we're seeing a whole lot more adults starting to commit crimes.
Just let me jump in there and explain the Stronger Future stuff. You mean that's the legislation from the intervention which banned alcohol from a lot of locations. So since those laws were repealed and alcohol is more freely available, you've seen problems increase?
It's been chaotic since July 17. I mean, it was already bad, 6 months previous to that last January. But since the Stronger Futures has lapsed and we've opened the floodgates to alcohol and allowed 16 of the 17 town camps to drink alcohol, it has become almost impossible to live here. And we are just seeing crime through the roof. We've seen domestic violence through the roof. The children are committing just senseless, destructive damage. And you topple that with the absolute scenes of people being drunk just everywhere in the town. It's chaotic.
Now, I don't know how close you are to Jacinta Nampijinpa Price. She used to be Deputy Mayor. I don't know whether you guys are allies or enemies politically, but since she's been in the Senate, I know she's managed to get Julian Leeser, the Shadow Minister of Indigenous Affairs, up to have a look at around Alice and some of the issues. I know she's had Peter Dutton up there as well. But there seems to be a push to get Anthony Albanese up there. You think the Prime Minister needs to see the issues that you're confronting there?
Yeah, I'll just say, Chris, that I worked quite well with Jacinta over 4 years when we were colleagues on council together. Look, and I will say that I did meet with the Attorney General, Mark Dreyfus, and Minister Linda Burney today to talk about these issues.
Oh, good.
We had Scott Morrison here twice.
Yeah, good. Just get on to that. Linda Burney and Mark Dreyfus, what did they tell you today? Any suggestion that they can provide any assistance?
Look, I was just pleading with them to please send us some federal police resources or the Defence Force. I know it sounds, if you're watching from the outside, you probably think that it is a heavy-hand approach, but the community that I live in, we need a heavy-hand approach. So that was the plea. And it was really a pushback to the Northern Territory government and to the police department to, if they need the resources, they can sing out. So I'm really pleading with the Northern Territory government. I'm meeting with the police minister tomorrow to please give us some police resources down here. The operation that you touched on that was launched last year in November and December had a really positive effect. We had 40 extra police. There was visual presence. People felt safer. There was a perception of safety within the community. We need that back, and if we can't get those resources from inside the territory, then we need to go outside the territory. So if it's not the Australian Defence Force or the Federal Police, we need to knock on the doors of states surrounding us.
Well, it's a serious situation. I'm glad you're trying to get onto it before it gets any worse, and we'll keep in touch to follow progress. Thanks for joining us, Matt.
Good on you. Thanks, Chris.
Matt Paterson there, who's the Mayor of Alice Springs. What a shocking situation to be confronted in. Such a beautiful and iconic town in this country, city in this country. Of course, we all know the Alice right there, virtually at the geographical heart of the country. We've got to get this one sorted out, preferably with police. But as you heard, the Mayor is prepared to have troops on the streets if that's what's required.